Welcome to the Gray Area. It's your man Kevin Gray of 105.3 The Fan. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel at Kevin Gray Sports. You can also follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Also at Kevin Gray Sports. And be sure to subscribe to the 105.3 The Fan YouTube channel. The Dallas Mavericks got a 113-100 win over the Houston Rockets to move their record to 3-4 on the season. Luka Doncic goes for 33 points, 16 rebounds, and 11 assists for his 26th career triple-double. Your man Tim Hardaway Jr. came off the bench and went 8 of 10 from the three-point line for a career high off the bench, 30 points. Willie Cauley-Stein made his first start of the season, got 15 points and 7 rebounds in 24 minutes of effective play with his rim running, getting out in transition, altering and blocking shots. He did it all against the Houston Rockets, and the Mavericks turned in one of their best defensive performances in their first 7 games of the season, holding the Houston Rockets to just 100 points with the potent offense of James Harden, John Wall, Eric Gordon, and others. So the Dallas Mavericks moved to 3-4 on the season as they continue to get their legs under them. And as we've seen through the first 7 games for this team, the ebbs and flows of what the Dallas Mavericks have been so far. You had the game on the one hand when they did not score a single second chance point against the Los Angeles Lakers when they were outscored 35-0. Then they blow out the Los Angeles Clippers by 51 points and then turn around and come home and lose to the Charlotte Hornets where LaMelo Ball goes off. And then you go to Chicago and you allow Zach LaVine to score 39 points in 38 minutes. And then you turn around on the road against the Houston Rockets and turn in one of your best defensive performances all season long. So you're seeing the ebbs and flows, the ups and downs for a team that's still getting its legs under them. And as Luka Doncic has admitted throughout the early part of the season, not in the best of conditioning for himself so far this year, but working it into himself as the season goes on.
Hey, Luka, Rick mentioned that the schedule going from you thinking it's going to be January or maybe February, then to before Christmas, messed up your off-season routine. How much do you think how much have you progressed in terms of your legs, your conditioning, just since the season has started?
I don't know. That was a question that I got last time, so I'll just say the same. I'm ready to play. I'm gonna keep doing the conditioning, keep getting better, keep getting in better shape, and it's we have a lot of games, so I'll be in shape.
His game against the Houston Rockets was the best performance of his season, the most complete game that he has played when you think about the variety of scoring that he had, the assists that he had with his court vision, and more importantly, his ability to rebound the basketball with a season-high 16 rebounds against the Houston Rockets. He talked about it after a game about the importance of him crashing the boards to help a team that has struggled on the defensive boards this season, where we've seen them be out-rebounded in several basketball games so far. What I thought was really important, though, in this basketball game was the fact that Willie Cauley-Stein made the start for the Dallas Mavericks in this basketball game. I don't know about you, but I've been calling for Willie Cauley-Stein to start for the Dallas Mavericks in place of Dwight Powell. Now, don't get me wrong. I know Dwight Powell is a leader on this team, has been a consummate professional for this team for a long time. But his deficiencies on the defensive end have been clear and stark this year, coming off of an Achilles tear, and Willie Cauley-Stein provides him much better length and athleticism at the center position. Even head coach Rick Carlisle recognized the fact that this team is much better defensively when Willie Cauley-Stein is in the lineup, and you couple that with Maxi Kleber, who provides his own length and his versatility at the 4 position, you saw a much bigger, much more physical lineup that the Dallas Mavericks put forth. Now, it would be interesting to see if Rick Carlisle stays with Willie Cauley-Stein in the starting lineup, because Dwight Powell, as I said, has been a stalwart on this team. But when you saw how effective Willie Cauley-Stein was, not only in the pick-and-roll situations with Luka Doncic, his ability to get out in transition, to alter and block shots inside the paint, which the Dallas Mavericks have not had so far this year in terms of paint resistance, it should lead you to believe that Willie Cauley-Stein should remain in the starting lineup going forward, especially when you start thinking about once Kristaps Porzingis comes back to this lineup. Now, one thing that did concern me about going into this game when you had Maxi Kleber and Willie Cauley-Stein in the lineup Luka Doncic is really the only go-get-a-bucket guy that you have on this team. And I've said it coming into the season that the Mavericks at some point are going to have to get another guy that can go get his own bucket, especially in crunch time. Now, you give credit to Jalen Brunson when this game was tied at 85 in the fourth quarter, went on a mini 4-0 run of his own to give the Mavericks the lead for good, and they didn't look back from there. This is Brunson, who came off a 31-point performance against the Chicago Bulls and continues to provide them a spark, especially when they need him to off the bench as the backup point guard on this team, and has remained ready throughout this season and has made the most of his chances. But at the same time, there needs to be a second scorer, a legitimate second scorer on this team. Hello, Bradley Beal. Or someone that can go get his own bucket when they need to, because the usage rate of Luka Doncic is going to continue to be used at a high rate this year. Him and James Harden a year ago had the two highest usage rates in all of the NBA alongside Giannis Antetokounmpo. That doesn't look like that's going to change this year in terms of Luka's usage rate, which, given the creativity and the gifts that he has as a basketball player, you're going to have the basketball in his hands quite a bit. The 11 assists, the 16 rebounds, and the 33 points, and his ability to get out in transition and facilitate offense, he's going to be the primary ball handler on this basketball team. And you hope as this season goes on, Josh Richardson will be able to take some of that pressure off of Luka in terms of the ball handling responsibilities at times. But the ball is going to remain in Luka Doncic's hands a majority of the time when you start thinking about what this team needs for them to go night in and night out. But what you saw against the Houston Rockets and what you are hoping to see going forward for this Mavs team is much more consistency in terms of the defensive effort that they put out. When you hear from Willie Cauley-Stein, you will hear about the fact that he has talked about this team has needed a certain swagger to play on the defensive side of the basketball, not getting down on defense when things don't go well for them on offense.
Hey, Willie, I'm curious, in the second quarter, it seemed like the game started to get pretty chippy. What contributed to the emotions and just the overall chippiness of the game tonight?
I mean, that's just what we got to play with, that swagger. That's just that hard-nosed swagger that I was talking about last night after the game. It's like we have to be that type of team to make it chippy and create that energy for us just to get us going on the defensive end. And that's just how it's got to be from the way out.
That's what happened to them in the Chicago game. In this game, when it was a little bit chippy, especially between DeMarcus Cousins and Willie Cauley-Stein, a number of technical fouls, ridiculous technical fouls, were called in the game against the Houston Rockets. The Mavs, for the most part, were able to keep their composure. One thing that Luka Doncic has got to quit doing, though, he's got to quit complaining to these referees. I'm about over it. A lot of Mavs fans are about over it at this point with respect to Luka Doncic and his complaining to referees about calls that he's getting or he's not getting and the respect that he's trying to earn. Just play the game, Luka. You're going to get the calls that you deserve as a first-team All-NBA performer and someone who finally looked like the MVP favorite that a lot of us think that he was going to be coming into this year. And for Luka Doncic, his conditioning is going to continue to get better as the season goes on, as he works himself into shape to become the number one player on this team, which he already is, but more so doing so at a rate that will allow his teammates to stay engaged and involved as well, because a lot of the conversation will be about Luka Doncic and what he does on a night-in and night-out basis, because that's just what he is and what he does. As a top 5 player in this league, there is much required and expected of him to ensure that he is leading this franchise the way that he is designed to, given his creativity as a passer, his ability to score, and also help out in terms of rebounding for this team. Even Luka said it himself, he doesn't expect to get 16 rebounds every single night, but his ability to do so provides the Dallas Mavericks much-needed help. And as they wait for Kristaps Porzingis to get back, this is a team that can find itself ensuring that their defense travels from night in to night out. Even Rick Carlisle has talked about the fact that this year, this team's calling card is going to have to be on the defensive end of the basketball. Gone are the days where they will be the number one team in terms of offensive efficiency. And if you sacrifice and be in the top 5 in terms of offensive efficiency to be in the top half in terms of defense, now you have a much more balanced team. And that's what you saw against the Houston Rockets and what you've seen at times for this team. When this team is balanced, engaged on the defensive end of the floor, while also filling it up from the three-point line, as you saw with Tim Hardaway, remaining professional and the consummate professional by coming off the bench, even though he prefers being a starter, you saw what he was able to do coming off the bench in terms of those 30 points.
Tim, you look pretty good coming off the bench. What was your reaction to the change in the role, and how were you able to get in such a good groove?
I mean, it's coach's decision. You got to be a pro. And I said since day one, I'm here to help this team out any way I can. So coach called someone else's number, and I just had to make sure I was a pro, stay engaged in the game, and make sure when I got in the game, make an impact. Everybody, all my teammates did a great job just letting me know to stay aggressive and keep that aggressive mindset going into the game. And I just wanted to contribute any way I can.
Those are the kinds of winning habits that the Dallas Mavericks can put forth in a consistent basis all season long. They have defense travel, energy and consistent effort, paint resistance with a Willie Cauley-Stein in the lineup, and then on the offensive end, having different guys step up night in and night out to help take some of the scoring load off of Luka Doncic until Kristaps Porzingis comes back so that he can be able to do so not only with his defense in terms of his block shots and his shot alteration, but his ability to score and shoot the ball from the three-point line at over 7 feet tall, which is a game changer when you start thinking about what the Mavericks need offensively going forward from the center position, and then couple that with what you've seen for Willie Cauley-Stein and the defensive effort that he put forth and the energy that he brings. Now you start having more confidence that this team can be a little bit more complete as this season goes on. But for now, the Dallas Mavericks at 3-4 on this season now find themselves at least for another evening playing much more consistent on the defensive end to give teams problems and an opportunity to think that not only how good they will be offensively this year, but more importantly, they're going to start trying to lock down teams defensively to create the kind of balance needed to move forward. We'll see how the Dallas Mavericks put themselves in that position as they continue to go on the road to take on the Denver Nuggets before coming back home for a couple of home games and maybe the return of the unicorn in Kristaps Porzingis. Be sure to follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Kevin Gray Sports. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, also at Kevin Gray Sports, and be sure to subscribe to the 105 Through the Fan YouTube channel right here on 105 Through the Fan. Like, comment, and subscribe on the video here for 105 Through the Fan. My name is Kevin Gray. We'll talk to you later. Peace.